I'm okay with the, you want to fudge the numbers and make something look bigger than it is. Hell, Hollywood do it. They got, extras in the background. They pay standbys. It's all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Now, like I said, paying somebody or having people come down there with the intent to stir up violence, I feel like that's different. And that's a problem. And it's whoever's doing that is not a friend of the cause.
Yeah. Again, but to me, I look at it as like, okay, this just is the game that's being played. It's like the side that sit there and fund whoever. It's like, yeah, I get it. I see what you're trying to do. It's like a mob move. You want to make something look bad enough to sway people to do something else. And it's like, if I was an evil genius like controller, I would go by this playbook 100%. Because the more you keep people in the dark and the more you keep them separated, the easier it is for you to do what you got to do. And it's like, that's the best way to do it. Can you imagine if all the people decided to be on one side and really take a look at what it is that you do? It's like, then you got nobody on your side. Then they can come for your ass like Caesar and chop you up. It's like, so it's better to have these people playing against themselves. So again, like I said, I'm sitting in the back. I got other shit that I need to do. I need to move these drugs back over to motherfucking Cuba. I need to get the boat and shit that did float on the water. Are we selling that? You think your government ain't about that? Go look up the Reagan years and the Contra War.
Sandinistas.
Yeah, those motherfuckers, they sold drugs. They sold it in the hood. Rick Ross. I got cousins out in California. These dudes said that on certain nights they would just drive out on the highway and look around the road. Motherfuckers like 4 deep, driving in the car with flashlights, just cruising the road because it wasn't that odd that somebody would throw a box that was getting chased. A motherfucking box of drugs, you just find them, nigga go pick them up. I was like, so that was actually a thing. They was like, yeah. I was like, so again, that's what people had to go through. And it's like, your government did that. And you think that they won't sit up here and separate you to the point that you go do something stupid? Please.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's just... It just goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, how much effect do you think that you are actually having when you are putting yourself in jeopardy and in harm's way? Like, what is actually going to come? And if we're looking at this young lady's situation, is what would the goal have been from this? From this incident, from what she did? Would she, delay whatever raid that they were going to do for the day or for an hour? And then what? These people, whoever they were targeting, they, happen to, get away and it's like they know what these people are. They know who these people are. So they're gonna get found. Eventually, it may, you may have, gave them a couple extra days, or a day maybe, who knows? But you were willing to put yourself, and this goes beyond just her. This is, to all the people who are doing this stuff. You are willing to put yourself in harm's way, like you said, for people you do not know, people who do not know you, people who probably will never even know you're the one who gave them that extra 5-minute head start. And they damn sure not about to go track you down and thank you or shake your hand for it. And what are you doing this for? So you can pull your camera out and post this on your Instagram later? So you can get more likes and clicks and views from people who believe the same thing you do? So you can go back to the office and say, hey, I stopped this raid yesterday. Aren't I a good person? Aren't I on the right side? Don't you agree with me? Pat me on the back because this is what I did. And it's like, it's not worth it. There are ways about, affecting change. And this is not a productive one. I'm like, if I can't affect change without ensuring that I'm going home to protect my kids and feed my kids at the end of the night, I'm like, hey, we're going to have to figure something else out. If I don't like the city that I'm living in and I don't like the mayor that much to the point where I cannot stand being here, it's time to move around. I'm not about to go protest outside of his house and yelling and screaming and wait for somebody else to pick up a brick and throw it through his window so that everybody end up getting shot up. I'm not doing it. It's not that important to me. I can go somewhere else. And if I can't, I'm gonna figure out a way. Or, it's some things that you have to weigh out when you deciding to make these decisions. And personally, I'm like, hey, I'm not one for to try to justify the mistreatment of other people, humans, the killing of other people. None of that. But at the end of the day, nothing is more important than coming home to my family at the end of the day. There's nothing that can happen outside of, like I said earlier, outside of something that is directly affecting my ability to live my life the way that I want to and to get home to my family at the end of the day and provide a life for my family. Outside of that, it's nothing that important to me to go out and be, putting myself in potential harm's way.
I agree.
Absolutely nothing.
And I didn't say this earlier, but I did. And as far as the officer that shot Renee Good, I was like, yeah, that was some bullshit. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I disagree with the fact that, again, he had time to move out the way.
He had time to not even get in the way.
Right, exactly. Even better. Yeah. And I was like, so that was totally uncalled for. And I was like, yeah, that's fucked up. But unfortunately, on the law side of it, she gave him every right to do that, which is what makes this fucked up. Dude could have easily sidestepped or moonwalk, but again, like you had said earlier, it's like they play it in court. He can easily say, I wasn't expecting her to go forward. She backed up. There's a lot of ways that this can go. And it's like, unfortunately, video and eyewitnesses account and all that is on dude's side. And it's like, but to me, it's like he didn't have to shoot. It's just like in any other, well, I won't say any other, because there are certain situations that cops do need to defend themselves. And let's not pretend that doesn't happen. There's crazy shit out there that happened to police officers. So if you don't know, please go do your research on it so you can get an understanding of what it is that they do. And I know people want to make the argument, well, if they don't do that, they don't like their job, then they don't have to do it. Well, guess what? If nobody does it, then what? Ain't nobody gonna like going through the shit that they have to go through every day, dealing with dumb motherfuckers. So then it's like, okay, if nobody does policing, you expecting things to get better? How does that work?
I know, me personally, I have a little bit of that mindset as far as, personally, I don't want anybody policing my neighborhood who doesn't want to be there policing the neighborhood. I don't want a police officer with that much authority and that much power to have that much authority and that much power while they're hating their job. I want a police officer who, comes to work excited to attempt to, how everybody, you see all the movies and the shows and stuff, and people ask, the rookie cop, oh, why'd you become a cop? Oh, I wanted to affect change. I want to make a difference, especially when they ask the black cops, like, oh, I grew up getting my ass beat by cops, getting chased by cops, hating cops, and I want to show the younger kids, this is not the way it's supposed to be. That's the way I want, the police to be. But unfortunately, like you said, all the shit that they go through is like, after 4 or 5 years on the job, it's like that, that doe-eyed, optimistic vision, it starts to get a little grizzled and it starts to change a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. But at the same time, that's not who I want policing me, because it's one thing to go to McDonald's and dealing with, a 19 or 20-year-old who hate their job and got an attitude. Hey, man, look, I get it. Just make sure my fries is in the bag. But at the same time, it's like, hey, I don't want, to get pulled over by somebody who's, got an attitude because they mad as fuck because they on their third overtime shift for the week.
Yeah.
And, and now I got to get attitude from them or perceived attitude or my tone gets perceived as being attitude because this person hates their job. That's not what I want. But at the same time, shifting back onto the ICE agents, for example, is like my issue with them in particular is this job that you signed up for. That you seem pretty. They seem pretty gung ho about doing and carrying out, and they don't seem. They seem like they believe. It's impossible to determine that, but from their actions and their movement and behavior, it seems like they believe what they're doing is the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, hype boys.
Why the fuck do you feel the need to cover your face if that's where your mindset is? If you feel like, hey, I'm out here doing the right thing, but at the same time, I'm gonna cover my face. I'm gonna make sure nobody can see.
Okay.
Now I get the repercussions that
We were both.
I was like, can I say this shit first?
Like I get the repercussions that may come behind, that they have fear, and it's a reasonable fear, and I get it. But at the same time, it's like if you stand on something and you feel that strongly, like, hey, I'm out here doing what I feel is the right thing, stand on that shit. Let your face be seen. Be like, hey, this is what I feel. This is what I believe. I believe that these people should not be here. Now, in real time thinking as far as like outside of the like being on camera and the citizens and stuff, I get that, they may be deporting or dealing with some people that got connections back wherever they from who, it may, have, some rank or something. And it could, be repercussions on that end. But as far as just like, I just don't agree with the covering your face. Like, if you're doing your job, do your job. You shouldn't have a reason to want to conceal your identity while you're doing your job the right way.
I agree. I guess from the research that I done, the reason why they cover their face is because they get docked. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Doxed, yeah.
They get docked and their address get leaked. Where their kids go to school get leaked. Where their wife work get leaked.